Well, hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today is a very interesting video because today we're talking about FNAF 2 versus Resident Evil 2 and 3. God, how do I explain this? Alright, so before we start this, thank you guys so much for watching, and so let me explain the premise. So, this is not like FNAF 2 characters just versus everyone in Resident Evil, no, this is just a scenario where, alright, let me explain it. So the scenario is that Freddy Fazbear Pizza, the new one, is in Raccoon City. Alright, that's just it, alright? And the place shut down a while back, and now the animatronics have just escaped. They charged up everything, they have all they need, and all the FNAF 2 animatronics, except for Shadow Freddy and Shadow Bonnie, because they're not in the scenario, and they won't really make much of a difference in the end. Anyways, and they are trying to, and they break out, and they see chaos in Raccoon City as a bunch of people are dying and there's just walking corpses everywhere. And while they're escaping, Umbrella really wants them because they have advanced tech, so they're gonna try to get them. So yeah, that's the scenario. The goal is basically the FNAF 2 animatronics all together have to escape Raccoon City before it blows up. Now, if you never played a Resident Evil game before, God, it's gonna be so hard to explain this shit. Oh, God. Like, you thought FNAF was hard? Oh, God, like, how do I explain the Resident Evil timeline? Oh, look. Oh, gosh, this is gonna be really hard. So, basically, look, let me just say this. This is gonna be really hard. So, yeah, you heard the scenario. The animatronics have to escape, and I'm just gonna... Let's first talk about how powerful the characters are real quick, so you can understand their level and their characteristics and where we're gonna go. Alright, let's start with FNAF 2. Alright, so here are the FNAF 2 characters. They're all pretty strong, I would say. They're definitely wall level in strength, you know. Like, if you've seen my How Powerful the FNAF Universe is video, you probably would get it. You know, you would understand. So yeah, speed-wise, they're faster, then stronger. Not smarter than an average human, because this is the FNAF 2 characters. And then there's just, you can see all their stats here and everything. I don't really have to go over this too much, because a lot of you, I bet you most of the people watching this video are fans of FNAF. And if you're fans of FNAF, there's a good chance you've already seen my How Powerful the FNAF Universe video is. So you'll probably just go, oh yeah, that's right, yeah, I already know. Yeah, they're strong. FNAF 2 characters are stronger than FNAF 1 characters. And there's like a lot of them. Wait, how many of them are I throwing in this video? I am throwing Glittle Freddy. That's like 10, plus the Balloon Freaks. It's 12, 13, 14, like 14 characters. So yeah, basically 14 Kid Gokus are basically, I'm throwing in 14 Kid Gokus. That's it. That's basically the scenario here. Alright, let's go over how powerful, and also me explaining Resident Evil lore. God. Alright, here are the Resident Evil characters. Alright, we're just going to cover Resident Evil 2 and 3, though maybe it's a little bit of Resident Evil 1. It depends. Alright, look, let me just explain. Alright, so basically, let's just go over the Resident Evil story. Okay, so this is 1998, so this is technically after the FNAF 2 location would existed, but still, it doesn't matter. Anyways, 1998, it's October, and the city has fallen. Some rats were infected by a virus created by a company called Umbrella, and the Umbrella basically found a way to make a zombie virus. That's basically it, and the virus they call it the T virus, and it's basically got out of the world, and it's just affecting people, and now everyone in the city is basically infected. There's like 100 people not infected, like a good couple of people not infected, but yeah, basically everyone's been turned into a zombie. The stats here are kind of accurate. There's no real accuracy with some of these things, but still, anyways. So yeah, and the T virus just causes you to become a zombie, basically. There's more to it than that, also. But yeah, still, basically. And also, there's a chance of mutations. So, you know, you could just mutate, you know, into something else. And there's also special engineered weapons. And animals can get affected as well. And usually, most common mutation with the zombie virus is just you get bigger. Like a bigger, more powerful version. Anyways, let's just talk. So the zombie virus, you just got the normal zombies. All the stats of the normal zombies is just human levels. They're zombies. They're not like, come on, it's just a zombie, okay? Another thing, all right, let's talk about the ivies real quick. The little green ones on the bottom there, on the bottom left, right next to the things. The ivies are just plants that mutated and then infected and just attach themselves to people and infect them. So they're also just basically zombies, but with sharper claws. That's it, all right? And then there's the lickers. All right, the lickers are just a mutation that can happen, but we only see it in humans. So basically, some creatures get like special mutations. And for humans, they could just turn into a licker with this version of the virus. There's multiple versions of the T-virus, multiple versions of... There's so many viruses in this game. And not just viruses, parasites. Literally everything exists in this dang world. God, even talking tofu. And I'm not even joking about the talking tofu thing. Look, anyways. So yeah, the lickers, they're pretty strong. They're about at least peak human level in strength. Maybe a bit more, and I would say probably maybe as strong as a gorilla. And then speed-wise, they're faster than a human. Durability-wise, peak human level. If I had to give them a power level, it would be an 8. Like, nothing too crazy. And then there's the hunters, which are basically... Umbrella wanted to make... The reason Umbrella made this virus, if you don't know, is they wanted to sell it for, like, bioweaponry. They're bioterrorists, let's just say that. They want to sell it. They want to sell it to the highest bidder. No matter who dies in the end, you know. They have a virus that could maybe end the world. And you're like, you know, end of the world's pretty profitable. So, you know, they just want to sell it off and just make a bunch of money. So, their first successful one was the hunters, who are basically just kind of controllable lickers. They can control them. They don't, unlike the lickers, they don't have like a long tongue, which the lickers have. They have a really long tongue, which is why they're called lickers. But yeah, hunters are just reptiles, so they're more durable than the lickers, but you know, nothing really too different, alright? And so yeah. Anyways, let's talk about, there's 3 more characters on the list who are really hard to explain, kind of. Alright, so basically, they also, with the T-virus, they figured out they could also make super soldiers, Umbrella. So they made a bunch of super soldiers. And yeah, so let's talk about the first one, Mr. X. He is not the first successful super soldier, but he's one of the most successful. The abilities of them are he's at least wall level in strength, maybe a bit beyond that. Speed wise, he's pretty slow. Durability wise, he is just as durable as FNAF 2 characters. And he also has a massive healing factor. But Umbrella did put this cloak on him. Those clothes help regress him from mutating in too much. But he still can mutate, like, randomly. And he does mutate. He does have a transformation, kind of. The transformation doesn't really increase his strength. It just gives him bigger claws. And but still, he has a great, powerful healing factor. Not as good as Wolverine's, but is pretty good. And so yeah, if I ever give him a power level, it would be a power level of 11. And then there's 2 more characters. Alright, so, so the T-virus is not the only virus that Umbrella has made. They made another virus at this time period called the G-virus, which is basically just heavily mutates people. Like, unlike the Tyrant virus, I think, where it's just the T-virus, where it just turns into a zombie, this one just mutates you while turning you into a zombie. So basically, just heavily mutates you, like, heavily. So this guy called Dr. Blank was dying, and just injected the G virus into him. I'm not gonna go over the whole story about who he is and what he did. He's very important to the story, but I just can't get into that right now. It's just too much. God, it's just too much. So yeah, he injected himself with it and he transformed. His first form is basically just gives him a really giant, gross-looking eye. The picture you see here is not his first form, it's just his second form. But yeah, he just gets a giant eye and huge, and he becomes basically just a zombie. And his goal is basically he needs to mate with the only thing close to his DNA, which is his daughter. Yeah, it's really fucked up, but you know, he doesn't have control over his body. He's just trying to infect he's just trying to infect the closest person who has DNA, and that is his daughter. So he just tries to infect them, alright? His second form, so like if I have to give his first form power, like power would be like 10, maybe that, I don't know exactly. Then, the second form, the one you see here, is definitely stronger. It just heavily mutates, give him big claws and everything. Give like a 13 power level wise. Then he has a third form, which is probably his most, I would say, his most powerful form. It is not technically his most powerful form, but it is the most powerful form that is useful. Anyways, it's probably like a 17 in strength, power level wise and stuff. So and everything. And then number 4 is basically just a giant blob, about the size of a train car. Can probably house level in strength. Let's just say that. And yeah, it's just not really mobile-ish. So yeah. And then there's one character who is not from Resident Evil 2. This was technically the only exclusive character to Resident Evil 3 kind of that I'm gonna be using here, and that is the Nemesis. Nemesis is basically just what they took Mr. X and gave him different things, and it's just a more powerful Mr. X. I would say his first form is definitely bit stronger than Mr. X, or close to it. It's about the same-ish, maybe a bit powerful. Then his second form that he gets is like an 18 in power. So, it's just stronger and stronger. You get it now. And then the third form is basically just one of the most powerful creatures in the entire franchise, I would say. And yeah, he just becomes giant and huge and heavily mutates and stuff. Anyways, so yeah. That is all the characters that I'm going to be talking about. So let's go over the scenario. So basically what I'm going to talk about how the FNAF characters will react to each creature and how well would they do against them, alright? Blah, 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 let's go. Let's begin now. So let us begin the scenario. Alright, so basically what happened is the animatronics got out, right? Alright. God, it's just... Yeah, got out, and they're just walking around, and they just see just zombies, alright? Now, would they know they're zombies? I don't know exactly. Because in the world of Resident Evil, zombie movies don't exist, really. Now, the concept of a zombie does exist, somehow. I think the myth of the zombie is just, for some reason, way more well-known in Resident Evil universe than it is just in our world. Like, the guy who made the modern zombie, like, the first, real zombie movie that we would call a zombie movie, didn't, really know about the myth of the zombie, really, kind of thing. So it's just wow, it's in this world, Resident Evil, they just know about the myth of the zombie just really well, apparently. It's odd, but still. So yeah, I guess, let's just say the FNAF characters just know that zombies exist, and now they're fighting zombies. Now, obviously, do I think they can handle them? Yeah, obviously, any one of these guys could handle just one of these zombies. But the problem with these zombies is, there's not just one zombie. There's a million of these guys. Now, we don't know how many exactly there is, people who lived in Raccoon City, but there's a million of them, at least. So there's a million zombies that they have to deal with. Now, could they FNAF 2 animatronics deal with them? There are 14 of them, and no, hell no. 14 zombies? No. Hell no. No. I do not believe the FNAF characters can handle 14 zombies. God, no. I meant a million zombies. No, but except there's a million zombies spread out over the course of a city. No. So I believe the FNAF characters could definitely survive a bit. The zombies are not going to be too much of a threat. As long as they don't get to huge crowds and stay together well, they could survive all the zombies. So the zombies are not going to be a real threat. Now, can the FNAF 2 characters handle the lickers? Yeah, I think on one-on-one, the lickers are weaker than the FNAF characters, and they can definitely deal with them. But, the thing is, there's not just, one licker. There's, 100 of them. At least 100 of them. Probably more than 100. At the most, there's, 300 of these lickers. But they're not all together, so if I had to say, if there was, 3 lickers and just, one of the FNAF 2 characters, I think the FNAF characters could maybe it would be a tie there. But still, as long as the FNAF 2 characters all stick together, all 14 of them just stay together, they'll survive. Now, I have no idea what will be going through their minds at this point, because think about it, they're now seeing the dead rise, and now they're seeing things that they have no idea what they are. I like to imagine they're just wandering through the city, and they're what is going on? Because they're probably not seeing a lot of alive people, because, well, it depends on what. If it's like the beginning of the infection, they're probably seeing like a bunch of humans, and the humans are probably normal humans are probably just running away. Like what the heck is going on? They're seeing the characters like, oh god, and they're running away. But still, that would be really freaky. You're seeing the dead come to life, and you see like Freddy Fazbear punching zombies. It would be honestly, this scenario is kind of funny to imagine because like think about it. These characters are not just going to be like. Obviously, I don't think any of them can use guns, really. So, they're just having to punch everything. So, yeah, it's just funny to think that they're just, like, dealing with them. It's just, like, a bunch of lickers are attacking them. It's kind of funny to think Freddy Fazbear punching a damn zombie. That's hilarious to me. But, yeah, I think the FNAF characters can definitely handle lickers. As long as they stick together, they should easily deal with them. But the lickers are definitely going to get a couple good licks in. Get it? Because they're lickers. Alright, let's go to the next one. Alright, now the hunters. Now, the hunters are basically just going to be lickers, so yeah, they should probably deal with them easier. But since the hunters are being controlled by Umbrella, and Umbrella's, as I said in the beginning, is trying to get them, the hunters are definitely going to be targeting towards more the animatronics, I would feel like. Probably. Anyway, still, the hunters, yeah, they can handle them. And I'm just, like, imagining, like, they're fighting all these monsters now, and now the hunters are coming out, and now, wow, they're just, like, confused. I like to imagine, let's just say in the scenario, they've been walking a couple blocks now. They've walked a couple blocks, a couple city streets, They're just, like, they're right now in a building, and they're like, what is going on? None of them are knowing what's going on. Charlie thinks it's, like, something bad. The puppet's like, wow, something awful must be happening. And then the hunter comes in and attacks him, and they just deal with the hunter easily. I do think at this point, like, let's just say they've been out for like an hour. They have a good couple. I think some of them do have a couple holes in them. And I have to ask this question real quick. What happens to the dead if you become a zombie? Like your spirit, because like, does your soul stay in the body, or does it just disappear? Because, like, if this is FNAF logic, then the soul should still be kind of near the body. And so the FNAF characters can see all the ghosts happening. And imagine the chaos that is going on right now through all the ghosts. Because, like, you're just seeing your body come to life and start eating other people. How do you react to that? Like, you can't do anything about it. You just see it happening. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I feel like, I don't know. That's a weird thing. That's something you guys have to think about. Anyways, let's go to the next one. Alright, so the FNAF characters have been wandering around, and they finally get to an Umbrella-owned greenhouse. And they're just confused. They're seeing all this chaos and have no idea what's going on. They've been out for like 2 hours, and they're just confused. And they go to this greenhouse to settle down for a bit because they're tired of punching zombies. Now, a couple of them probably are missing parts. I don't know. I could see one missing like a finger or two, a couple licks in them, and everything. And they see the Ivies. Now, Ivies on their own are definitely not going to be any threat, but could the Ivies infect the FNAF characters? I don't think they could, but if they could, it might actually help the FNAF characters. I don't know. Because, like, they possess their bodies. What happens if something attaches onto them? This is like, how would it work like that? I don't know. Anyways, the Ivies are not going to be much of a threat. They get out of the greenhouse and they're confused. But like when they're at there, Charlie picks up a laptop. Gosh, this scenario is just confusing. And sees Umbrella, sees it experiment. It's just like, so she started thinking, oh god, Umbrella's behind this. And they're like, let's just say they have no idea what's going on still, but Charlie suspects that Umbrella might have something to do with this or something. I don't know. Let's just say Charlie finds a dang laptop saying experiment or something, and they're like, what? So they're confused, but they're trying to get out of here because they don't want to stay here. But I like to imagine that some of them are thinking, is this the entire world right now, or what's going on? So, yeah, let's move on to the next scenario. Alright, let's just say the animatronics have been wandering now for a bit. They have been wandering and they're just confused. Now, they have been surviving mostly pretty well. None of them are exactly dead. Well, technically they can't really die anyways, but still, they're all still in working condition. But then they're like wandering through, let's just say the police station. They just enter the police station hoping to find some help or something, or just settle down for a bit because like there's just so many zombies. and then they're walking around and they see basically just the intro for Mr. X and stuff, and then Mr. X comes in and starts to fight because his goal is to collect them. They need to be collected, and they're not going to go willingly. Now, how would this fight go? Well, Mr. X is stronger-ish, and just also has a healing factor, but they are pretty durable. So, how would this fight go? Mr. X is definitely going to kill at least one of them, or permanently. I'm not going to say kill. I'm just going to say kill, but none of them are really going to die, really. They're not going to die until the nuke goes off. If any of them are alive when the nuke goes off, I'm pretty sure the nuke's going to just burn that remnant away, alright? So yeah, let's just say, Mr. X, when they first meet him, he's going to, like, grab one of the balloon boys and just smash them. Balloon children, just smashes them and gets rid of them. They would probably surround him, and yeah, I'm pretty sure they would defeat the first time Mr. X. Now, Mr. X is definitely going to get one of them, so yeah. Then there's second form Mr. X. Let's just say, after they go some searching, they find Umbrella's factory, and then Mr. X comes back in his second form, and they have to battle Mr. X again. Mr. X is going to let's say Mr. X gets the endo. He just grabs the endo and just smashes it. Alright, 2 are dead. And then they just grab him and they can't really kill him exactly, because they don't really have any ways to permanently take him out. They could incapacitate him somewhere. Like, maybe they just put a huge amount of weight on him, like maybe collapse a building on him, and they just gets trapped there. Alright, Mr. X is taken out. Mr. X is definitely going to do some major damage to them. I could see them missing an arm and a leg or two, and they just grab some, let's just say they grab some wheel, like, whatever those things are called on wheels, I can't say the name right now, and they just, puts the characters on there. Alright, Mr. X is down. On they go, deeper into the factory. Alright, so they defeated Mr. X, and they're just wandering around the building. They're carrying their fallen comrades in like a wheel car or something, just keeping their loosest parts in the comrades. They can't fix themselves. And then they see a man with a huge mutation with a giant pipe and just starts attacking them. They eventually defeat him, just throw him off a cliff. But like now he's done some major. He kills one of the balloon children, huh? How about that? Or yeah, he hits one of them. Okay, and now there's 3 comrades down. They still have the ways to go, and then Dr. Blinky or whatever his name is mutates again. All right, and let's just say as they're walking, they find his wife, the doctor, and the wife's like, "What is wrong? What are you creatures? What's going on?" And they're like, let's just say the wife understands that their strength could help her, and so she tells him how to maybe help him stop her and try to save the daughter. Now, Charlie would probably want to save the daughter, definitely, I would say. So they just go on the quest to save the daughter, just like the game, stop the police chief, and then they see the second form. Could they handle the second form? Yeah, they could. They have the numbers advantage, and the numbers just really help them. But with the second form, they're definitely one of them's going to get taken out. Let's just say Toy Bonnie doesn't see it happening and just gets tossed up and smashed. Toy Bonnie's down. There's 10 of them left. Alright, now they have to fight. And they defeat the second form. Third form comes back. All of them attack the third form. I'm assuming at this point maybe the doctor could help fix some of them. So let's just say we'll bring back Toy Bonnie and Endo. Alright, back to 12. Alright, now could they... gosh, this is so hard to think of, because this is just so whack. This is just so weird. Because I'm having the FNAF characters, bunch of little animals fighting like horrible mutations, abominations to humanity. And it's just like, in my mind, I'm just seeing them try to fight it. And I'm like, how? Most of them aren't gonna survive it, really. Alright, and then they say the third, and then they say the third form, they defeat the third form with a couple of them dead. It's like 8 of them now. Alright, there's 8 of these. There's third form, then they fourth form. The fourth form is really not really a threat. They could just, let's just say the fourth form tries to attack them. they just send the 4th room away and just blow it up. Alright, there's 8 of them left. The rest are just in shopping carts, alright? That's it. Let's move on to the final threat. Man, this video is already 25 minutes long. Jeez. I never thought... Before I made this video, I never thought it would get this long. But, like, when you're talking about all this stuff, it's like, there's so much to talk about. But I love both franchises to dear. But still, let's finish this. This is the final one. Alright, Nemesis comes in. After all that, there's 8 of them left. All the things that happened. And they go off. And then Nemesis comes in and just takes one of them out. And they all team up against Nemesis. Could they defeat Nemesis? Obviously, all together, like, even 8 of them could defeat him. But, like, with Nemesis, he's just gonna come back with a rocket launcher, takes one of them out. With a flamethrower, takes one of them out. And then, then they defeat the first form. And it's now just the 5th, now it's the 2nd form, and there's, like, 5 of them left. 5 of them together, could they all take it out? I don't think so. They can't really... God, 2nd form takes out most of them. I think 5 of them against the 2nd form could maybe win. They could maybe win. It's not going to be easy, and most of them would die. Then there's the 3rd form, which 5 of them, like, no matter what's left, I don't think, if with the 3rd form, I don't think even 10 of them could defeat him. I don't know. Alright, look, I'm just going to say it. This scenario was just way too crazy before I even made it. Like, gosh. This is just such a long-ass video, and it's just like, yeah, if you asked me could they survive Raccoon City if all of these guys were after them, maybe. If you ask me, they're just kind of, could they get out in time? I believe there's a chance of them getting out. You know, there's 14 of them. You know, 14 characters who are all, like wall level and strength, you know. They could survive, I think. If they played their cards right and do everything right, they could get out. But they're not with, with huge casualties. Like, at least, like, most of them are getting wiped out, killed. Though, you know, it's just kind of crazy. Look, this is just a scenario that I think, if you ask me, most likely they would not survive. Maybe. I don't know. Because, like, also there's the nuke that's coming, like, in a couple of days for them. Like, I give it, like, say the nuke comes in 3 days later and destroy the city. Wow, they have 3 days to get out of the city. But they're not going to be aware of the nuke, and it's not like they can ask someone about the nuke, because they're just, you know, what human's going to go talk to them? The thing with, like, Leon Kennedy, sure, he was, like, by himself, but he could, like, figure out computers, and he could use guns. None of these characters can use guns. Sure, they can, like, maybe they can, if they're lucky, they could figure it out, but they're not going to be as skilled as Leon Kennedy. And the great good thing about guns is, you don't have to go up and close with your enemy. With the reason, like, the protagonists of survive so long is because they have guns and they can attack from afar, and all the monsters they fight are melee only usually. So that's why they can win. Like, that's most enemies and most of the protagonists of the Resident Evil games are nowhere near as strong as the things they fight. But the reason they win is because they have broken weapons in that world, and the enemies they fight are melee only. They can't really use range attacks. But when you have two melee opponents, and one of them stronger, yeah, the stronger one's most likely to win. And the freakish healing factor. With bullets, with, like, Leon Kennedy, he has enough bullets to shoot to Kingdom Come. But with them, they can't really rip off the flesh perfectly. It's just like, yeah, if you ask me who's winning this, it's Resident Evil. Like, the FNAF characters could maybe survive, but they're not smart enough. I mean, they're smart, but they're not, like, you know, geniuses or, like, with any of the other characters. Like, most of the protagonists of the Resident Evil games are, like, peak humans, just, like, with freakish abilities, and get smart, alright? With the FNAF characters, they're just kids, basically. Sure, they're kids with the power of like destroy walls and durable as hell, but they're just kids in the end, kinda. And maybe if they and sure they're kids with AI, and maybe the AI that can help them a bit, but still, it doesn't matter in the end. They're just kind of fucked. I mean, I'm sorry, but this is just how it is. Look, if an Umbrella wasn't going to be after them, they could survive, but Umbrella's probably going to go after them. They are. Fazbear has some of the most advanced tech in this world. They would probably just go after them, no matter what. There's a chance of them surviving, but you know, then what are they going to do? They can't really drive cars. Maybe if they can't really drive cars and like they get out of the city, yeah, but how far of the city do they have to get out of? You know, they're gonna have to travel a while before, because the nuke is coming. There's just so many things that is going against them. They are outnumbered, outstrong. What the heck did I just? They're out strength. They're out everything. They are definitely they're gonna survive for a long time. I'm not saying that, but when you have with Resident Evil, where the healing factor is just gonna be their greatest strength. There's so many monsters with healing factors, and the FNAF characters can't heal themselves because they're robots. No matter what, they can't heal themselves, and they can't fix themselves. I don't believe they can. Maybe somehow they can, but they can't fix themselves. And once you fix them, you know, even if they get somehow find someone who's nice enough to fix them, that guy could just die at any time. Cause with Nemesis, he could just grab a rock and shoot the guy and shoot them. These guys are deaf. This is just a weird ass scenario. I should probably have picked something better. I wanted to do another Halloween video, but it's really hard to record stuff when you're in a different country. Right now, I'm in Germany right now. Alright? Because I wanted to record a video real quick while everyone was out of the house and I'm by myself. But this was just too much. There was just no way. Maybe if I picked maybe a different game. I don't know. This is just insane. This is just, I don't even know. How do I react? Alright. Look, I love both franchises to death, but FNAF loses. Sorry, everyone. I hope you have a nice day. Love you all. Enjoy. Have a wonderful day. Please like and subscribe. Goodbye.